What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Hoops After Dark. My name is Mike, and with me, as always, is Sam, who does not like Celebrity Row, apparently.
This is more. Listen, I don't actually hate Celebrity Row. I just like some of the celebrities in Celebrity Row. I actually don't mind it at Knicks games and LA games. This is more of an indictment on the American coverage of the World Cup, where instead of showing fans of other teams, they're always showing celebrities at the games. And I like my World Cups where they're showing crying fat men, South American and European men crying because of a result and screaming,
or the Congo man dancing.
or the Congo man, or the Senegalese fans dancing, or the Norway people rowing, or the occasional Croatian just bombshell. I prefer that over showing Tom Cruise and Edward Norton 40 times during the game, but that's why Celebrity Roast sucks. I'm sure my caption will be changed as we continue talking.
But we're gonna recap. The NBA draft is done. These trades have been wild over the last couple of days. These rumors are wild, and Summer League is officially here. Giannis, let's talk about. We're gonna cover it all. Giannis to Miami, LaMelo to Minnesota, which I kind of like, by the way.
I love it. I love it so much.
The trade that kind of started it all, the middle of the night or late night Julius Randle trade to Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. Isaiah Joe got moved today or yesterday as well. What's going to happen with Jalen Brown and then Jalen Duren as well?
Yeah.
There's got a lot going on, and this free agent market's going to be weird. I think there's going to be a lot of movement.
Yeah.
And this offseason definitely did not wait.
No. Started fast. It's started incredibly explosive. It's going to be something as it all develops. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the biggest one of Giannis, or?
Yeah, I want to start with Giannis. So it sounds like the Celtics were never really in on Giannis. I don't think. I think they were in, but they weren't in.
I think. Well, they said, I've heard that it was obviously Jalen Brown, and then
their best offer was Jalen Brown and 2 first-round picks.
I think from what I've read a little bit, that the Bucks were also wanting one of Baylor Shireman or their other young guard,
Hugo Gonzalez,
and that was apparently too much for them, which is a little strange. I understand, but it certainly wasn't too much for Miami, who gave up every piece of depth they ever have, and gave it all to the Bucks, for the services of the Greek Freak
and Bobby Portis. Don't forget about Bobby.
Yes. Bobby Portis as well. I'm sure
the trade was Bobby Portis and Giannis go to Miami. Milwaukee gets Tyler Herro, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kel'el Ware, Kasparas Jakučionis. With the 13th pick was 3 future first pick swaps and a second-round pick.
And Tyler Herro.
Yeah, Tyler Herro, Jaquez, Kel'el Ware.
Yep.
I think they took Brandon Burries and Nate Abent. So if you put those two with Herro and Jaquez and kind of with the younger team that they have left, they're not going to be terrible, especially not in the East.
Welcome to the 10 seed, boys. Have fun in that 10 seed purgatory. I do want to echo a little bit of the Ryan Russillo, how he was kind of like, if you trade Giannis earlier, you might get more. Because listen, he's not wrong when he says, who in this thing do you like really consider like you're really excited about? Tyler Herro's a decent piece. Like the couple of those guys are okay. Kel'el Ware, we'll see how he develops. Jakučionis, we'll see what he can become. But like, is there anything that the Bucks fans are like, oh my God, at least we have this to look forward to?
No, I mean, because if you kind of look, you have to assume they move Kuzma. You have to assume they're probably going to move Miles Turner.
Yeah.
And maybe even Herro, but it sounds like they want to keep Herro. But, I mean, if you just look at it, if they don't move anybody, their starting 5 is Ryan Rollins at point guard, Tyler Herro at the 2, Jaquez at the 3, Kuzma at the 4, and Miles Turner at center.
Yeah. Is Tyler Herro a local boy?
Yeah, he's from Milwaukee.
Yeah. So, hey, Tyler Herro, welcome home. it's not, it's a haul of a bunch of depth. And Miami certainly gave up their depth, which is interesting that they didn't try to keep at least one of those guys. So what are we looking at for Miami now? Drew Smith, and
You have to assume they're gonna try to go get. I mean, it would be funny if they went and gotten somebody like Russ, like it's just somebody
keep
who's
Drew Smith. Just keep Drew Smith at that point. Just.
You got to think that they're going to go after some older guys who are going to be ring chasing. So, I mean, who are the best free agents available?
Well, as your caption says, maybe LeBron takes his talents to South Beach one more time.
Well, so from what I was reading, LeBron has not had any contract talks during this negotiation window with the Lakers, and he plans on opting out. So if he leaves LA, I think it's more realistic he goes to Miami than going back to Cleveland.
Unless Cleveland also is looking at what they have in their future and saying, but we haven't seen any signs of that quite yet.
Yeah, but so what are you going to replace a James Harden with a LeBron James? Because you assume James Harden opts out of his deal, right?
Well, yeah, he's been there a year, so it's time for him to go. Yeah, I mean, it's James Harden. I mean, it's time for him to take his, to go try his luck. I don't know. I don't know where he's gonna go. Freaking.
So if we're looking at the top free agents, Austin Reeves was obviously one of the top free agents. He's plans to re-sign with the Lakers. CJ McCollum re-signed with the Hawks. Trae Young got a ridiculous deal with Washington to stay. But the guys who are available, Jalen Duren is not on the table for sign-in trades. Zach LaVine's going to be a free agent as well. LeBron, Norman Powell, James Harden, and Kristaps Porzingis and Kevin Porter Jr. So that's kind of your top free agents, and a Russell Westbrook if we want to go deeper into that. But I mean, there's not really much there. I mean, you got to think that Norman Powell is probably going to get a decent contract, so Miami's not going to keep him. So what kind of Miami can get? They're not. And do they go after somebody like maybe like a Rui and try to add a Rui to that team? Or, I mean, the free agent class is terrible. A Tim Hardaway Jr. maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested in the amount of depth that Miami gave up and what their exact plan is. Because listen, part of Giannis's reason he wanted to leave Milwaukee is they weren't competitive.
And that's why I think this team. I think that deal worked out great for Milwaukee because they're gonna get 4 first-round picks from or 4 first-round picks in the future from Miami.
Yeah,
and there's no guarantee Miami's gonna be good with Giannis, and there's no guarantee that Giannis and Bam can play together.
No, and there's no guarantee. Yeah, and but that's what's interesting to me about this is Giannis wanted to be competitive, so you would assume that Pat Riley has not only said, yeah, Bam's still going to be here, to be your probably the best center that he's played with. I don't know, Brook Lopez is pretty good in his day. But to be, his to have a really, really good defensive anchor behind Giannis, so really, really good. It'd be tough to beat in the paint between those two, but you would have to imagine that Pat Riley had additional plans that he promised Giannis on in order to get this done.
I think that this offseason is obviously it's just getting started. It's gonna be pretty crazy. They're gonna, and then it's the same thing that you said. Who's gonna space the floor? Who's gonna be the rotational pieces? Is Davion Mitchell the future of what they're trying to build? Do they bring back Andrew Wiggins? Like as pieces as even Wiggins.
Oh yeah, Andrew Wiggins went there as well, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Like they still have some decent pieces, but it's not gonna be good. It's not that team is not competing. I don't even think the Knicks are gonna compete next year to repeat, but they're not even as good as what par the Knicks are.
You don't think the Knicks are gonna try to be good enough to repeat in the East at least? Who's better than them in the East?
I don't know. Well, I think Boston's going to rebound. I think there's Philly's going to be better. I think if they can stay healthy, but that's always the if with them. Let's see what Detroit does with Duren if they keep him. Because if they keep them. I think them getting Isaiah Joe was a good fit. Like they can add a couple pieces around him and Cade. Can Cade stay healthy the whole season? We'll touch on it in a second, but we haven't even touched with LaMelo gone.
Yeah,
what that team looks like. I think there's going to be a lot of teams are going to be better. But I don't see the Miami Heat being a championship contender.
But I don't think any team has made a move, or not yet, at least. I mean, there's still a ton of time, like you said, for things to change. But no team has announced its presence with authority. I mean, hey, unless AJ DePonsa has a great rookie year and Anthony Davis is healthy, and then maybe we're talking about something brewing in Washington.
I mean, they're gonna be better than last year. You have to assume, right? Obviously.
I mean,
even if you're not counting on Anthony Davis to be healthy, right? Sarr, DePonsa, and Trae Young, that's better than any team they had last year. And even if we're looking at the East standings, Miami was the 10 seed at 43 and 39 last year. The teams in front of them, the Hawks haven't done anything. Toronto, I don't know about them. The Cavs, we'll see. The Hornets got better, I think, getting rid of LaMelo, but we'll touch on that.
I don't know if LaMelo is the thing that made them better, but I think Naz Reid is definitely interesting for them.
Oh, no, I agree. And then the Magic, who knows with them. So how many more? I mean, they were 3 wins out of the 5 spot last year. Is Giannis worth 3 wins? Maybe, but is the depth that they lost worth 3 wins? Probably. So it's probably a wash. So it's really going to depend on who they bring in and what kind of pieces they put around them.
Yeah. I agree. The Bucks have picks, and they have what now is an okay core of guys. They don't have anybody to Tyler Herro is a good second, third option perhaps, but it's not going to be a guy that's going to lead you to a championship as a number 1 most likely. But they're an interesting team to look at for the future. Quick point about the Knicks and the initial trade that started off. Do you think that back in New York City that what all happened? Julius Randle, so Claxton goes to the Bulls. I don't mind that for the Bulls. But do you think Julius Randle's sitting in Brooklyn looking across the river and looking in Manhattan and saying, what could have been?
I think Julius Randle gets a bad rap. I think he's a better player than what he gets credit for.
I agree.
But it seemed like the Knicks dumped him. I mean, but they had a chance to get Karl-Anthony Towns, so I understand. But then it was like, okay, if you're gonna do a salary dump and you're the T-Wolves, I guess you're it, Julius Randle.
Yeah.
I mean, that team is interesting.
The Nets?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Julius Randle, he averaged 21 a game last year. They're not going to be. He's not horrible, but it's just like
he'll probably have a career year.
So the Nets roster right now, obviously it's him and Michael Porter. Who's going to take more shots?
The GOAT.
That's going to be nuts.
Who's the other scorer? Cam Thomas?
No, Cam Thomas got cut by them. Then he went to Milwaukee and then got cut by Milwaukee.
Oh, yeah.
They drafted Kel'el Brown at 6, so it's like 3 guys who want the ball are just going to be chucking shots. They may be fun to watch. Yeah. They're not going to win a lot of games next year.
There'll be a league pass fun little Tuesday night team.
They're a team if you're a gambling person, probably going to bet the over a lot.
Yeah, and that's the one thing we haven't really talked about as much, and we're going to get to obviously, but where the draft comes in for some of these teams, like where that affects how they're also going to line up as well. The teams that let go of guys, the teams that are trading, we'll see how their draft picks also hang out. I'd like to talk to you about the Timberwolves. LaMelo's going to be whipping that scooter around Minneapolis. He's going to be whipping passes around Target Center or Arena or whatever it's called. Listen, I have something to posit. Listen, I know LaMelo, like, we don't talk about his defense, but he's like a lengthy guy. If they can get him to play defense at a decent level, he's a lengthy point guard. Ant plays really tough. You have obviously Gobert on the back end, and then you have like guys like TSJ and McDaniels to play as well. I mean, defensively, I'm kind of interested in what they could do, and I don't mind it.
Before we go on the LaMelo thing, can we talk about the crazy ask that Boston asked the Wolves for Jalen Brown? So
I'm not aware of this.
According to the report, the Celtics asked for Rudy Gobert, Naz Reid, and similar pick compensation that went to Charlotte for Jalen Brown.
Listen, and for a player of Jalen Brown's caliber to be asking pieces like that, I'm not confused by. My confusion is mainly why they thought the Wolves would want to pair up Jalen Brown and Ant that bad.
So I guess they were looking for another defense, like another superstar. So apparently they went after him, they went after LaMelo, and they called the Bulls on Josh Giddey, and they settled on LaMelo.
I don't know if that's settling, dude. I like LaMelo.
So they sent Naz Reid a unprotected first in 2033, 3 pick swaps, and 3 second rounders for LaMelo and Josh Green. So if you're Boston, that's a very high price for Jalen Brown. You want Gobert and Reid and 4 first round picks basically in 3 seconds.
Yeah. That's so much. That is quite a bit. Jalen Brown's worth it. And that brings us to another topic. How bad Jalen Brown, it seems like, wants out or doesn't, or how much they want to move off of him.
So just to piggyback on what you were talking about. So they're talking about the new starting 5 for the Wolves being LaMelo at 1, Ayu Dosunmu, who's reportedly going to re-sign at the 2, Ant at the 3, Jaden McDaniels at the 4, and Gobert at the 5.
Yeah, and you bring off what, TSJ and others off the bench. The GOAT, Mike Conley.
Their bench would be right now TSJ, Beringer, Highland, Conley. If they don't get a big,
definitely need to look for additional bigs. Maybe that's an interesting. Miles Turner will want the starting spot over Gobert, but I'm interested in where Miles Turner might end up too. I'm a big fan of his game. Maybe somebody's looking around, look for him. Hey, maybe Miles Turner is what Boston.
I don't know where you go if you're Boston. Like, if you're asking for that, I don't know how many teams are going to pay that right now. I mean, I think you kind of missed your boat. I know that Brad Stevens talked about making a change and breaking up the Jalen Brown and Tatum was potentially on the table, but I don't know if they're really inclined to trade him unless that relationship just really went sour.
And Miami really just gave up so much for Giannis, but like, I just think that what Boston wants is bigs, right? Boston wants.
Yeah, they want their main goal is a big. That's what they want.
So like what? Like, if you wanted, I don't think they can get Bam. I mean, but Miles Turner would be an option, I guess. Possibly. I mean, I just, in terms of trade, but I don't know what.
One reporter just came out an hour ago and said that the Blazers have reached out about Jalen Brown.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know. I feel like Boston. You're right. Like, they kind of missed their boat a little bit on Jalen Brown. Like, it's not like he's like gotten worse as a player. That's not the thing they missed. But like, who has the space and the ability to trade for this?
This is the potential trade framework for Jalen Brown to Portland. Jalen Brown to Portland. Boston gets Scoot Henderson, Jeremy Grant, Donovan Clingan, a 2028 first round pick, a 2020 pick swap, and 2031 first.
Yeah, which is interesting, but that's so many of those guys are what the Trailblazers have been building to.
So you're gonna you're giving up on Scoot and Klingon.
Yeah.
And you're giving them a depth piece in Jeremy Grant and 3 firsts.
For Jalen Brown, all to play in a West that has OKC, the Spurs.
So, but what does that leave Portland? That leaves him with what? Just a Dame coming off injury?
Dame, Denny.
Oh, and Denny, yeah, I forget about Denny.
Denny. Yeah, he's really like Dame, Denny, and Jalen Brown. But like, if you're trying to compete, are you beating the teams at the top of your conference? Or are you even competing with any of the best 5 teams in the NBA with that? Probably not. Like, I don't understand the point of giving up guys like Klingon for like it's just gonna continue to like put them into a perpetual rebuild when they're trying to get out of it. And they showed promise of getting out of it the postseason.
They made the playoffs. Like they looked great in the play-in. They got kind of whacked.
Yeah. But like you're building towards something, and are you going to give that up for Jalen Brown just to be in a play-in for the next 4 years? And I just don't know. I don't know if that's the move. It's just weird. Like I don't know what teams are going to be able to like offer Jalen Brown what he wants. Offer Boston Jalen Brown.
The other thing that came out too is Jalen Brown's up for an extension, I think, after this year or this offseason. Mm-hmm. And it's the 2-year 140 max. Maybe the Celtics don't want to pay that. Maybe they think they're fine, but maybe they know that he's not going to re-sign it on an extension because they pissed him off so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he pissed them off too. I don't know. It's weird. Like it's such a weird situation when you're 2 years off of winning a Finals MVP for that team.
I think if Boston was going to sell Jalen Brown, they should have sold him at the peak when he won his Finals MVP. But now it's like
you can't sell him when he's coming off that.
I didn't say you can't, but I'm talking about value wise. That's when they should have sold him.
Yeah.
But then you have a year Tatum misses the whole season and Jalen Brown carries you to the 2 seed, basically. Yeah.
And he's still worth a bunch of money, but like the big Giannis trade already happened, and so many of these teams are either trying to get out of a rebuild where they're going to ask for so much of their depth, or so many of like their picks. Like what's a team that like actually needs the services of Jalen Brown that's willing to give up the picks and the required amount for him and still compete? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a team that makes sense for that.
I mean, one of the teams that I would throw. I mean, I wish my Mavs would do it, but they won't. Put him, Kyrie, and Cooper Flag together.
That would be.
They won't do that.
Yeah, not Golden State. I mean, what about Chicago?
I don't know. Chicago's interesting. It would depend on what they want.
Yeah.
But it's also Masai Ujiri did trade for Kawhi, so that's the only reason why I bring up the Mavs, because he's not afraid to make that move.
Yeah, that's true. But he also has a new coach that clearly has. And we'll talk about Dusty May's move. Also, he has a new coach that clearly they think has a vision and something he wants to build. And is that in his plans?
Here's one trade that was thrown out there. Jalen Brown to the Pistons.
Okay.
The Celtics received Jalen Duren. This is a 3-team trade. Celtics received Jalen Duren, Trey Murphy, and a first round and 2 future first round pick swaps. Then the Pelicans get 2 first round picks from Detroit, Jordan Walsh, Hauser, and Marcus Sasser. The Pistons get a superstar to go with Cade.
Yeah.
The Celtics get the big and a wing and draft compensation.
Yeah. And the
Pelicans don't
just get stuff. The Pelicans continue their collection of stuff. Yeah, I mean that's not the worst one I've heard. It's gonna be interesting to see how this develops, because
Shams is the one that put out Jalen Brown to Portland.
Interesting.
Like, he dropped that nugget this morning and said that they have enough draft capital and players that interest Boston to make that a real possibility.
Yeah, And listen, like I wouldn't be shocked to see Portland do it. I just think it would be a mistake for Portland because I don't know what the point is when you're trying to compete. If you're trying to compete, if that's going to get you closer.
But I mean, so like, here's my question: if you're Portland, do you trade Scoots or do you trade Shaedon Sharpe? What's better for your long term? Because Scoot's on an expiring deal, so do you even keep Scoot? And if you are going to keep Scoot, that would be kind of the deal to trade him in, right?
Yeah, I'd agree.
There's also linking him to Cleveland as well.
Linking Jalen Brown to Cleveland?
Yeah, it'd be Chris Mannix put it out from Sports Illustrated. A Evan Mobley for Jalen Brown swap.
Evan Mobley for Jalen Brown. Straight swap?
Well, I didn't watch okay. Something built around that.
Okay.
Which gives them the big to go play with Tatum.
Yeah.
And Cleveland a wing. So you would have Mitchell, Jalen Brown, and Harden.
Well, Harden's gone, man. It's just I mean it's a joke, but like, what have we seen in the past from James Harden? I think he's just gone. I
mean, that would be an interesting one though, because they both. I think that's a even trade.
Yeah. As long as the draft draft capital.
If you threw in like if it's like a Evan, because Evan is valuable enough, as much as people don't want to say it. He's valuable enough to be like, okay, he's good enough. With him, maybe 1 or 2 future first is probably enough for Jaylen Brown.
Yeah.
Not like some of the 4 or 5 that they're asking for.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about how Charlotte's going to look this year?
Oh, dude, I like what they built.
So they signed Kobe White. He's going to start at guard. You have Brandon Miller. You have Khan. You have Naz Reid. You have Miles Bridges.
Brandon Miller, Christian Anderson, who they drafted at Texas Tech.
Yeah, and then you still have Kalkbrenner, second year in the league. We'll see how he keeps going. You know, I'm interested in how this team goes. So
my guess is they start Kobe White, Con Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, Naz Reid. That's my guess.
Or Kalkbrenner, and then they finish with Naz Reid as the big.
Well, or Musa. Musa started this year. Musa Diabate.
Yeah.
So I mean, their rotation is one page put out. They think it could be Kobe White, Brandon Miller, Con, Miles, and then Musa Diabate. And their bench is Christian Anderson, Hines, Naz Reid, Liam McNeely, Sion James. And then below that's Grant Williams, Kalkbrenner, Tendaji Sululan, and Trey Mann.
I don't mind that team. I don't mind it at all.
That's for sure. I think that's what they got depth, and they got a bunch of picks.
Yeah, and they're dynamic.
Like Naz Reid with draft capital is really going to help them.
And they're still dynamic despite losing LaMelo Ball, which when you lose a guy like LaMelo Ball, being able to keep some dynamism is pretty nice. Yeah. It's just going to be really, I mean, we're talking, it almost feels like there's been so many trades and stuff that have happened, so many moves that have happened, but it feels like we've kind of only scratched the surface. It's almost early to talk about some of these things because we don't know what's going to continue to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be wild. I think that the next couple days or next few weeks, when it starts to really ramp up, it's going to be nuts.
What caught you the most by surprise? We knew Giannis was moving.
So anything include coaching changes, everything. Dusty May to the Mavs.
Oh, yeah, we could.
I'm a Mavs fan. I think if there's anything, you had a feeling Giannis was going to be moved.
Yeah.
Julius Randle one. You had a feeling that the T-Wolves were going to make a change somewhere.
I was surprised by LaMelo being moved. That was not in terms of NBA players being moved.
If
Yeah,
we're talking players being moved, LaMelo being moved is probably the biggest one for me.
yeah.
But we're talking overall.
Dusty
It's
May.
the coaching situation in Dallas.
Yeah,
The Mavs really tried hard to get John Shire
yeah,
and made John Shire say no.
yeah,
And as soon as he said no, they shifted to Dusty May and signed Dusty May.
yeah. Coming off a national championship and like what an insane meteoric rise for Dusty May. I mean, 3 years ago he was coaching at FAU, right?
Yeah, this year was year 2 at Michigan.
Yeah, I mean,
National title, 2 Final Fours in the last 3 seasons, coaching, and then 1 national championship at Michigan.
Yeah, and immediately
basically a buzzer beater away from being in 2 national championship games.
Yeah, and immediately leaves Michigan to coach the Mavericks and start this project. I'm interested to see how much the Mavericks also allowed him to be part of the like discussions on who they were drafting or how long this has been in the works. Which I don't know if we'll ever know that because I mean, yes, they drafted Morez Johnson, a Michigan guy. They drafted one of his guys. An interesting choice because all 3 of his guys were on the board, correct?
Yeah.
An interesting choice of all 3 of them. I thought that they were gonna. There's a possibility that they're gonna pick one of the guys with Dusty being the coach, but I don't know. I was just kind of surprised it was Morez. And you're a Mavs fan. Were you as surprised as me?
Yeah, so when it came out that they're hiring him, I was like, okay, at 9, they're gonna take somebody from Michigan. It's inevitable. But I thought it would be Yaxel. We were talking about this beforehand. I thought it was Yaxel. I thought Yaxel fit with their. So my thought process was this: if you're gonna move off PJ, and you're gonna or Najee, Yaxel's the cheaper replacement. And he's familiar with the coach. They have, I think they're. I mean, at big when you have Derek Lively, who can, if he can ever stay healthy, you don't really need somebody like Mara.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking maybe they'd go Mara just for extra big protection because Cooper Flag can easily pay the 3 or the 2.
Well, my thought process was if you take Mara or not Mara, if you, I don't think they're moving off Gafford at this point.
Yeah.
So you're gonna run with Lively and Gafford.
Yeah.
And then
as I'm seeing this team develop, you have to consider who you're trying to contend with, and that's OKC and that's the Spurs. And what are you going to need? You're going to need size for both those teams. And so I thought Mara might have been the choice, but Morez Johnson also has plenty of size, and that's not to look down upon.
He reminds me of Derek Jones Jr. With a little bit more skill.
Do you think he has as much balance as Derek Jones Jr.?
Yeah, I do. Being a UNLV fan, yeah, I do.
Okay.
But is he? I would say if you're going to look at play style, at least that's how I see it.
Okay. I don't think any of them are going to be bad, but yeah, Dusty May, just an insane rise. Was at FAU a couple years ago and took them to a Final Four. Obviously, was in line to get a big job. Gets the Michigan job, builds the program up, wins a national title, and is immediately off to the NBA. And that's just a crazy couple of years.
Who was the last coach to do that? Was it Larry Brown?
To go from college to the NBA?
No, to do it. Well, to go to college to the NBA right after winning a national championship. I think it was Larry Brown.
Calipari didn't do it after Louisville. Did he go to the Celtics after Louisville, or was that before?
I don't. When you're talking about Pitino.
Oh, sorry, Pitino.
No, he won the title in '96. When did he go to the NBA?
No, Pitino won the title in like 2012. They say he didn't because of the scandal.
No. I'm talking about when he went to the NBA the first time. When he left Kentucky to go to the NBA.
Oh, so that would have been earlier, yeah. All right, so he was.
Oh, was it Bill? It wasn't Billy Donovan? He didn't do it right after he won the title.
No.
It was Larry Brown. It was Larry Brown.
Oh well, and if we're including football, we also have Harbaugh. Yeah, but Michigan was also marred by cheating scandals.
When Kansas won the championship in 1988, they Larry Brown left and went to the Spurs.
Okay.
Rick Pitino.
So was he the coach that annoyed Popovich enough that Popovich was the general manager and said, "Nah, I'm now the coach too"?
No, that was in the middle of the 90s. I don't think it was Larry Brown.
Okay.
But Pitino won a national championship at Kentucky in 1995-96 season, then departed Lexington for the Celtics job in 1997. So he waited 1 year and then left.
Okay. Do you think that Dusty May is going to come out that he's going to be a Harbaugh and that he left Michigan again because something nefarious happened and he's going? Or do you think Dusty May just wanted an NBA job?
I just think he wanted an NBA job. I think it was inevitable. I think it's the same thing with Shire. I just think that Shire.
You think Shire's? You don't think Shire wants to be Duke guy for 20 years? Maybe.
To answer your question, the coach. So Pop was an assistant under Larry Brown. From 88 to 92, he was Brown's assistant, and staff was fired. The owner. Pop went to the Warriors for 1 season, and then came back as the GM and vice president of the Spurs.
Yeah.
Bob Hill was the coach that he fired in 96.
And appointed himself to be head coach. And he was correct. Usually those situations they're wrong, but Popovich was correct.
To answer your question, if this was pre-NIL, I would say these moves would never happen. But now with how crazy the landscape of college basketball is just college athletics in general, I think that you're going to see way more coaches go to the NBA.
Yeah.
And not stay in college.
But don't you think it's also going to lead? Go ahead.
I would say my hot take, this Boykin guy gets 1 year. They probably are middle this year. They hire the guy from Sluey.
Josh Schertz or whatever. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Slew, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got a little
Laker baby.
He's in love with the Lakers. And listen, Luka wants athletic bigs. That's not it. But please somebody like him because I love that guy. And I think, I don't know, I like him a lot. I maybe just one good summer league game to really cap my love for him.
But to go back to your question, I think that you're going to see way more guys go now until they get this college basketball stuff under control, or just college athletic NIL stuff in general under control. I think you're going to see a lot more college football coaches go to the NFL. I just feel like, well, one of the things that Dusty May said in one of his recent interviews was he was starting to get fed up with all the college basketball. NIL stuff. So.
But don't you think it also works the other way where you're going to have two separate types of coaches? You'll have program, which still works at college, but you'll have like program building guys, which are more suited almost for NBA and NFL at this point. And then you'll have guys that are more than willing to be 24/7 recruiters while still being a coach. And the guys that get annoyed with that are the ones that are going to move to other things until it gets worked upon.
Oh no, I think you're all right. I think it's going to be a mix of both. It's going to be a matter of when it happens and how quickly they get it under control. I mean, there's a lot of you got Congress involved with some of this stuff at this point. So
because the NCAA doesn't have legal power. The NCAA has had their legal power stripped from them, so Congress has to step in and give them power if they want any.
Yeah,
it's insane. Is it not a little interesting that Michigan has won 2 national titles this decade, and the coaches both leave immediately after building programs, and Michigan fans are so excited.
I was more surprised at Dusty May leaving than Harbaugh.
Yeah,
It was inevitable Harbaugh was going back to the NFL. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah, and
Dusty
cheating
May
scandal
leaving,
created
and all this
perfect situation for him to leave.
Stuff. If we're gonna talk about what they're gonna try to do with the Mavs, I think that they're obviously you're gonna get Kyrie back and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they want Kyrie to mentor Cooper Flag like he has been. So I think they're not gonna trade Kyrie, but I think they're gonna trade Clay. I would not be surprised if they trade PJ Washington. There have been some teams that I just read that have reached out about Derek Lively's availability. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think if they can get consistent play out of Morris Johnson, whether it's off the bench or he starts, and they can Cooper Flag can take that next step, and Kyrie is any resemblance of himself, I think they'll be around a play-in team.
Yeah,
at least that's the hope. But we'll see. I think Dusty Mays he's a players coach, and he's a very good tactician, and I think that works in the NBA. I think that Jason Kidd just overstayed his welcome in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially after all the Luka situation,
which it didn't ever seem like he had a real choice in that.
Did he know? Did he know that was going on? Yes. Did he have a say in? Did he have?
Was he happy about it? No.
Did he have a say in the decision? No way.
No. He would have at least asked for more picks.
It's still crazy to me that now you see these memes going around that Luka gets 1 first-round pick and an injury-prone big man when Giannis gets 5. And
who's at the tail end of his career, and Luka was early 20s. Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. Until I'll never believe anything that trade was on the up and up until I'll never believe it because the only way to justify it is Cooper Flag going to the Mavericks, and that would require Adam Silver to sit down at press conference and be like, "Yep, I made sure that the Mavericks could get Cooper Flag to keep the Lakers relevant, and that will never happen." So until then, this trade is absolutely ridiculous and will continue to be one of the great stains on both the Dallas Mavericks as a franchise and I think the NBA because, like I said, there's no way the NBA wasn't involved in facilitating that trade.
So here's my take, and I've told you this take before. I still believe at the end of the day he does not stay in LA. I think he signed the short-term 3-year extension for a reason. I don't think that they're going to actually build around him like they say they are.
They haven't,
and he's going to leave, and they haven't yet. And especially if they let LeBron walk, you really think a team, no offense to Austin Reeves, he's a very good player, but a team with Luka and Austin Reeves is going to win a championship? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no, I don't see it. And I don't.
Now, am I going to say, is he going to go back to Dallas? I don't think so. I think that bridge has been burned.
Yeah.
Unless that owner sells the team. I think that bridge has been burned as much as he loves there and he still lives there and all that stuff.
And here's where I say what I think could happen. I think Giannis is at the tail end of his career, plays a couple years, and then Miami looks for Luka Doncic in South Beach.
Yeah, I think that's more realistic than him going back to Dallas.
Or Steph retires and the Warriors get Luka.
That would be awesome. See, I feel like he would enjoy playing. I just feel like he didn't have a choice to go to LA.
No. And this time he wants a choice.
And I think that's what I'm getting at. He wants the choice to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he signed the short-term deal instead of the long-term deal. And I know people are going to say, "Oh, it's because he could get more money and bigger deal." I don't think that played into it.
He did get screwed out of what his supermax could be. So,
well, in the tax money in California compared to
Dallas, yeah, true. Is there any other things to talk about with these teams, or should we go talk about the draft?
I don't have anything else. I'm interested to see what happens with free agency, though.
We will continue to text and to cover it as things emerge. Let's talk about the draft. I feel like the draft was as it went a lot of the ways as we thought before. We knew that there was a ton of talent in the draft and a ton of teams were going to be very happy with what they got. And but it still kind of ended up, at least the first like 5 to 8 picks, kind of going how it looked like it was going to go in all the mocks.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it was inevitable. I think that there was a lot of smoke out there that Peterson had some push at 1, but it was. I feel like it was always going to be AJ DeBonta.
Yeah, I feel that way too.
Now
and
Peterson at 2 to Utah. I mean, that was in a lot of mocks, and it happened. I think that team is very interesting with him and Jaren Jackson and Markkanen and Ace Bailey. And was it Keyshawn George or Keyshawn George, their point guard, and then Walker Kessler? That team is going to be a threat in the West, I think, at least to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they could be a little bit spicy out there. I mean, I thought to make the playoffs, I don't think is far off, as long as Darren Peterson. I hope that the injury thing was just an injury thing this year and it doesn't continue to plague him, and that he's able to see the court. But what we
now that it's done and over with and all this stuff is like it is what it is. Do you think that was more him, or do you think that was more agents and people telling him not to play?
I don't know. Like I don't know if it was good advice, bad advice. I don't, because we never got told what the extent of like the injury was. I feel like we never really got told like what if it. We were never communicated to by either Darren Peterson, his team, his family, or the University of Kansas on what was going on. Exactly. But when he did play, you could see the talent. So, I just, we don't know. We don't know if he has like some sort of like back issue, or we don't know if he has like, we're in the dark on it.
Yeah, and it wouldn't surprise me if he got advice from somebody that.
Yeah.
Just and it's interesting too, because like if we go back and we go back and look at how Bill Self handled this whole thing, he didn't really say much. He's like, oh yeah, he practiced today, but he's not playing. Oh, yeah. So it's like, was that his decision? Was that his agent's decision? Like,
was that your decision, Bill, trying to keep him just healthy for maybe a run in March Madness or in the conference tournament? Like, we never got exact answers. And yeah, obviously with modern college sports and the NIL, and we have a bunch of agents out there giving good advice and bad advice. We have family members involved with the money that are giving good and bad advice. We have coaches that have invested money in players, but at the same time care about getting them a high draft pick, but at the same time care about their team success. And we never got clear answers, so it's hard to tell. I think he deserved to go at 2, though. And I hope he's able to play. I hope that's just was 1 year thing.
Yeah, I really like Boozer at 3, bringing back the grit and grind, getting Isaiah Stewart, bringing Boozer in, having Edey. I love it.
A lot of sides on that Grizzlies team. As I joked about beforehand, Edey and Isaiah Stewart and Cam Boozer should just box out and clear out the lane and let y'all cook. Obviously, it's not a viable NBA strategy, but it'd be funny to see. Yeah, I mean, Cameron Boozer was obviously going to go 3. I think he has the lowest floor in this draft of like what he can be transitioning to the NBA. Like, I think he has the highest floor. Sorry, the highest floor. Like, I think he will translate to the NBA. In terms of ceiling, I don't know if his ceiling is quite what some of these other guys that are drafted before and below him are. But in terms of where his floor is, it's really good. It's really good. He'll be a solid NBA player.
I like Caleb Wilson to Chicago. I thought that was a good pick. Him and Giddey, getting Claxton as well in a trade.
I like Claxton.
I think that they're starting to put some real pieces together there.
I want to see Chicago have a resurgence. They've been rebuilding this thing, aside from the blurb of the late 2000s, early 2010s Bulls. They've been rebuilding this thing since the 98 finals. And I want to see them finally do something concrete. Because that's what I'm talking about. Like when we were talking about the Portland trade, these teams that are trying to rebuild, please finish the rebuild for the love of God. Like do something concrete to finish and like keep or do what the OKC did and keep accumulating picks. Do something. Also OKC still accumulating picks and talent, shipping off talent, but still getting picks back in return and drafting new talent. Absolutely insane. But I just
let's talk about our GOAT, Bennett Sturts, being a OKC Thunder. They trade the 16th pick or the 17th pick to get to get Bennett Sturts. They gave up 2 seconds to do so. Then they trade the guy who's going to play in front of him, Isaiah Joe, to the Pistons for 2 second-round picks. So they got the 2 second-round picks back, and they saved themselves $60 million in cap space, and then got somebody who's just as good in Bennett Sturts.
This guy has ripped my heart out, has killed me, has put a knife in my back, in my heart. He's abused me. And now he's on the Thunder. And now I have to watch that on the Thunder. Now I have to watch the Thunder get to play him and Jared McCain off the bench. And the Thunder also draft out Amara and now have an additional big to help Hartenstein and Chet, possibly with Wemby.
We know exactly why they drafted Mara.
Yeah, it was maybe the most obvious. We know exactly why what this team's thinking with this pick ever. Outside of number one picks, sometimes the teams will draft guys, and you're like, I wonder what they're thinking for the future with this guy. We know what they're hoping, and hoping that Mara can do for them. Keem Wagler, the surprise story of the NBA season, goes to the Clippers. The Clips get more talent, but we'll see.
I don't know what the Clippers are doing. Benedict Mathurin's a restricted free agent. He's a good piece. I mean, Darius Garland was a good piece to bring in, but now they're talking about trading Kawhi, and it's like, okay, so you're gonna replace Kawhi with Keaton Wagler. That's fine, but I don't know if they're going to be competitive.
I just don't know what the direction of the team is. Now, in terms of like drafting Keaton Wagler, I think that's a fine pick. He's probably one of the best players or the best player at that draft position. I don't have a problem with the pick. In terms of the team, yeah, I agree with you. I don't know exactly what the direction of the Clippers are. Certainly don't strike me as a team that's going to be competitive in the NBA exactly.
It's the same thing how I felt with the Kings pick. I know we're skipping over, but like the Kings pick of Acuff. I love Darius Acuff.
Yeah. And the Kings love Darius Acuff. They did the entire time.
Right. And I think he's going to be a very good scorer in the league, but it's like, okay, if you're going to move on from DeRozan and potentially Sabonis, what direction are you going in?
Yeah, there's just a couple teams that and I know it has to happen. It has to happen in closed promotion relegation leagues. I'm not advocating for that in basketball. I know I'm a soccer fan. I'm not advocating for that in basketball. But it just and how these leagues are designed, there's always going to be teams that are like this. I'm so tired of perpetual rebuilds. When certain teams make it look like a joke, like OKC made a rebuild look like a joke.
Like you had Fox and Halliburton. Great future for your backcourt. Yeah. Then you trade Halliburton versus Sabonis, who was young. Great. That's fine.
It's fine.
Great pieces. You have a future in Fox and Sabonis. You're in the playoffs. Then you screw up your roster. You watched Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan not play well together in Chicago. What made you think that would work?
Why rebuild that team? I don't know. Yeah, why did you rebuild that team? I don't know. It's just so weird. And they have money in them, and it's just odd. It's just an odd team. Brooklyn got Kel'el Brown Jr. from Louisville. Good pick. There's just so many, it's so hard to judge any of these picks because all these guys, this is such a deep, talented draft.
I do like the Spurs pick at 20 of Jaden Caton's. He was good at ASU. He got hurt at Kentucky last year, but I mean, very good defender. He's long and physical and athletic. You put him with Wemby, that's going to help their depth as well.
Mm-hmm. I like Nate Amint out of Tennessee. He was pretty good, and he's going to Milwaukee.
I do think the Lakers got a good pick at 24 with Cam Carr from
Do you
Baylor.
do you think that Yaxel was really the best pick for the Warriors in that position? No, I'm not shitting on Yaxel. I just
No,
they're at
but
10.
I feel like
They're at 11.
I feel like since Bob Myers left, there's really been no direction of where this team is going. They don't want to, and you brought in Dunleavy to be the GM, and it seems. I mean, there was video of Dunleavy and the owner arguing about the pick before they submitted it.
Yeah.
They didn't even agree on this pick, so it's like, what direction are you trying to go? Now you're trying to move off Jimmy's contract, which you shouldn't have signed him to in the first place.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it's weird that they're like a team that doesn't really have a direction when you clearly should have a direction. You clearly should be trying to extend Curry's competitiveness for as long as his career lasts because he's still a good player.
I feel like the whole thing with Dunleavy started when he extended Draymond. Like, why did you extend Draymond? Draymond was clearly like, you let Clay walk. That's fine. Like, Clay was on decline. He went somewhere else that he thought he was going to compete with Luka and the Mavs. Okay, well, that blew up in Clay's face. That's fine. But you extend Draymond, who was also on the decline. The only person who wasn't on the decline was Steph. So you want to extend Steph as much as possible. But then Draymond's contract got so bad, nobody wants Draymond's contract. Then you try to go get Jimmy. Jimmy, you signed him to a weird mega extension, and then he blows his knee out. Then nobody wants Jimmy's contract.
Yeah,
so it's like what direction? Where are you going? Because at this point, you're just wasting the end of Steph's career.
And I like Yaxel, but like, is he the best person? Like, is Mara not possibly like? Is Mara and Mint like? Are they not better possible picks there? I don't know. I'm interested in that.
Even Burries went at 10, but even like if Burries fell to 11, like why not Burries either?
Yeah.
Like, there were better options that I thought that they could have had.
And the Bucks
I know it would have been very high for this guy to go, but like even a Corey from Stanford, like bringing in a shot creating wing who can shoot. Like that's gonna help.
Although Yaxel also seems like he can do that.
No, I'm just saying, like, what makes sense? Like, do they really have that much belief in pods?
Yeah. Which I don't mind pods, but yeah. And then Braden Burries to Milwaukee, and then Nate Ament is headed off to Milwaukee too. So they have those guys. They have all the guys they just acquired from Miami. So like, almost like an incredibly deep team with no stars, or like Tyler Herro as your first player, which is interesting for Milwaukee. Like I said, I think Tyler Herro could be a second or third option guy, but like it's like Milwaukee almost looks like a place where it's like, I don't know, like Milwaukee has all these pieces now. Is Milwaukee going to try to bounce back immediately with some of these pieces and sign somebody with all this depth that they're looking to build?
I mean, we'll see. They could be.
Because you still have Turner. They haven't moved off Turner yet. You have Miles Turner. You have all these pieces. You have two interesting draft picks. Is this not interesting for another team to maybe Jalen Brown goes to Milwaukee? Like, maybe he still ends up there.
Yeah. Your boy Alex Caravan got drafted in the first round at 29.
Caravan, good player. Just a good player. I think I don't know if he's going to have the greatest NBA career of all time, but, I think he's exactly what, some teams need.
Braden Smith staying home and going to the Pacers was a good one as well.
And you know what? Would it shock you if Braden Smith's pretty decent?
No, I think he could be a great backup to Halliburton.
Not to loop him in with the white guys, but a little TJ McConnell-esque action out of Braden Smith.
Oh yeah,
in the future.
What about we missed on the hero for Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, Otiga Owe? He is also on the Oklahoma City Thunder. They took him in the second round at 41.
And he'll probably be decent. It's ridiculous. Finishing off this first round, Christian Anderson at Texas Tech to the Hornets. Abuka Corey traded to Detroit. Talk about Dalen Swain to the Bulls.
I like Swain. He was a really good player at Texas.
Yeah. He's got size.
If he's just a if you're just asking him to play a role and be a 3-and-D type player,
Yeah.
like that fits in perfectly. You have Giddey at point, you have whatever they're going to play at the 2, and then you have him at your 3 and Caleb Wilson at your 4 or Claxton at your 5. You have a very athletic front line with those 3. Is that team going to have enough shooting? What are they going to build? What is that? Is Anthony Simon still going to, is that the piece that's there? Like, what does it kind of look like?
Yeah. What do you know about this? Listen, I'm not the most deep draft analysis, player analysis guy. I don't have the kind of time of day, especially with the World Cup going on this year. What do you know about Kareem Lopez to the Pistons? But he's going to Memphis.
He's been highly touted for a while. I think he was the first Mexican-born player to be drafted in the first round.
He's born in 2007. Oh my god.
Yeah. He's a good player. Yeah, April 12th, 2007.
Oh.
I think he's a very interesting fit. I don't think he's going to get a lot of playing time right away.
He's a forward, physical style, tough, versatile defender with a high motor going to the Memphis Grizzlies. What a shock.
Yeah, it fits what they're trying to do. It fits what they're trying to do. But I don't know how he's going to translate into the NBA.
Yeah. And then the pick after, LeBaron Philon Jr., good player out of Alabama, to the 76ers. Do the 76ers, is their biggest issue scoring guards?
They have a lot of problems. Their number one issue is health.
But what I'm saying is scoring young guards what the 76ers are looking for in the moment?
Apparently.
What is this kid going to get off to a great start, and then mid-season we're going to ship off the kid? Oh gosh, what was the kid's name this year? Sorry, Edgecombe. Is Philon going to get off to a great start, and then we're shipping off Edgecombe for a couple picks to OKC mid-season? Are we doing this shit again? Like,
no, because they fired Daryl Morey, didn't they?
Okay. I mean, if I see VJ Edgecombe in an Oklahoma City Thunder shirt in January, I'm going to lose my mind. All right. And I just don't, I mean, maybe he was the best pick at the moment for them, for the Sixers, but like, that's not the part of their roster they need to improve.
The draft comp for Kareem Lopez was Denny and Zachary Reiser.
Ricochet?
Yeah,
okay. I mean, hey, I'm interested in it. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. I just don't understand why the 76ers thought, no, this is the piece we need.
Yeah, I didn't understand that one. That was if we had somebody like a shock, that was kind of shocking.
Like Zuby Ejiofor was picked right after. Is Zuby not more interesting for the 76ers than another scoring guard?
Well, why don't they just hire him full time?
Who?
So they fired Daryl Morey after the playoffs. And they brought in Bob Myers as an interim executive to lead the search for permanent replacement. Why don't you just hire him full time?
I don't know.
Like, he's probably the best exec you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in Bob Myers to be the interim. So was that a Bob Myers pick? If so, he's probably going to be fine.
Yeah. I'm looking at LeBaron Philon's, profile, and then I'm looking at the guys picked out. Zuby Ejiofor, Cameron Carr, Terrence Reed Jr. Like, are these guys not better fits for the 76ers? I don't know. I'm just a little confused by this pick. I don't mind LeBaron Philon. That's nothing against LeBaron Philon at all.
If I were them, I would have been drafting a big man knowing that Embiid's going to get hurt.
Yeah. Zuby Ejiofor. You draft Cameron Carr to play 3-and-D, and Terrence Reed Jr. Hell, even Caravan. Like, I don't know. It's a little weird spot. What about this Sergio De La Reyna? Haven't done a lot of look. I didn't watch the 2023 Under-19 World Cup.
He's a crafty guard. He can pass. He can shoot. Play style very similar to, not as good, obviously, but play style very similar to Luka.
Okay. It looks like he's tall, 6'6".
6'6" playmaking guard. They took the risk on him. Originally drafted by the Knicks, was traded to the Mavs.
Okay. Interesting. I don't mind that. Nuggets get a center, but going to San Antonio, Terrace Reed.
So they got Terrace Reed and they got Cadence. So they took 2 bigs to help beef up the backups behind Wemby.
Interesting. So do you think are they moving off or just moving him down, like the power forward or center or small forward location?
Well, I think even if these guys don't start, you had to get more athletic and get younger. I think they saw that, and when they couldn't go deep into their bench and play another big, you know, they weren't playing Olynyk, they weren't playing Barnes, they weren't playing anybody else. They'd rather take a shot on a young guy than paying somebody.
So who's their backup wings then? There's Keldon Johnson and Dylan Harper filling all those spots.
I think it's those guys right now.
Okay, and then
they haven't made any moves there.
Yeah, true. Celtics get Chris Seniak Jr. out of Houston.
He was supposed to go higher. He kind of
fell to Boston. Well, I mean, to be fair, this draft is just so deep that like some of these guys that are at the bottom, like LeBaron Filon's, was a really good player.
Sorry, to answer your question about the Spurs, so their pending free agents are Harrison Barnes, Olynyk, Biyombo, Mason Plumlee. So all of their bigs are going to free agency. So they brought in and they drafted Cadence and Terrence Reed Jr. to replace basically Biyombo, Olynyk, and Mason Plumlee.
And upgrade because maybe they can actually play them.
Yeah. And they drafted in the second round, they took Malik Brown, the big man from Duke.
Okay. Wow.
So they got they went young. They went young and athletic.
And big.
And big, yeah. But to answer your question, as of right now, they're the only guys who are paid on their roster. So their wings are Sham Penny, Carter Bryant, Keldon Johnson, Vassell.
Okay.
And then
Harper,
guard wise, they have Fox, Harper, Castle, and then they drafted Jacoby Gillespie out of Tennessee in the second round.
Damn. All right. Now I understand these picks now. Wow. If
they got rid of the old. They got rid of the old and got younger and more athletic because I think that's what they needed. They needed depth guys that could play.
And then they'll still have the other big coming off the bench too.
Yep. Oh, Cornette. They still have Cornette. So
yeah, that's not. Wow, that's scary. That's scary. That team could be even better.
Well, that also frees up a lot of cap. You would assume because I'm sure Barnes wasn't on a cheap deal. So
yeah, you have vet minimums for the rest of those guys, but that's still not as cheap as rookie deals.
I mean, other than De'Aaron Fox, they only have one other player making over $20 million a year next year.
Wow,
and that's Vassell making 27.
Yeah, and eventually they're gonna have to pay Wemby, but cross that bridge when they get there, and he'll be worth every penny.
They only have 5. They have if you take out those two, they only have 5. Below that, they have 5 guys making more than 10. I would assume they have a lot of cap room.
Yeah. Yeah, Joshua Jefferson, going to Brooklyn reportedly, out of Iowa State.
He was a good player. Yeah, I don't know how good of a pro he's gonna be.
Yeah,
but he's a Vegas kid too, so he was good in high school. He went to St. Mary's, then transferred to Iowa State, played for TJ. Had a good career at Iowa State. Undersized to play the 4. Don't know if he has good enough speed to play the 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can shoot well enough to play the 3 either. So, in the older developmental piece, I think he could. If he develops a jump shot, he'll be able to get on the floor. I think more consistently.
And he's at Brooklyn, so he'll be able to get on the floor anyway.
Oh yeah, true.
Caravan's going to Sacramento. Everybody knows who Alex Caravan is. Hey, maybe he's the leadership that. I mean, I don't know if Sacramento's missing leadership necessarily because they have older guys, but I don't know. Caravan's a good player, and they like
that. See, like that goes with what I'm talking about. With what are the Kings doing?
Yeah.
That's not a shot at Caravan, but it's like
I don't know. And then to demonstrate how deep this draft is, Koa Pete goes 30.
Yeah, there's arguments Koa Pete should have went back to school.
Yeah. And
he may have got at 30, he may have gotten more money in NIL to stay at Arizona.
Mm-hmm. But he's staying home. He'll be in Phoenix. It looks like a little bit of size for Phoenix, 6'8". I don't mind that pick for Phoenix. They need a little bit more size. They have plenty of depth at their guards. Bruce Thornton going to Houston, Richie Saunders to the Grizzlies. Interesting pick for the Grizzlies. I don't know. Every draft we're able to look at all these players and be like, oh, we can see. So that's basically what I'm just saying.
I do like the Trevin Brazil to Denver. Give Jokic an athletic big man next to him.
Hey Sam, talk about Bennett Sturts. Hey Sam, talk about Trayvon Brazil. Have fun. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me?
It's the truth though. That's theoretically, like we were talking about, especially if you go deeper into the second round, like on paper, that fit makes sense.
Yeah, no, okay. I agree. I agree. Back-to-back Arkansas. So Malik Thomas is going to Cleveland, but drafted by the Kings. Do you hate that they have to wear the hat of the team that drafted them that they're not playing for?
I think that this stuff trades. I think if it's a draft day trade, they should. If it's a Giannis trade that happened 2 days before, or a trade that was a pick that was traded at the deadline, like no, just give them the hat of that team.
No, but
if it's in the moment, like hey, we're trading up to number 8.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Like okay, yeah, do it that way because you weren't maybe prepared.
But if this pick has been Oklahoma City since 2015. Yeah. Why the hell is he putting on a Rockets hat? Yeah, like what are we doing? Malik Thomas he was really deadly, had some high level games for Arkansas where he just absolutely went off. I saw it myself. We talked about Isaiah Evans, reportedly traded to Minnesota, so out of Duke. And then we get down here to, we have the main people to talk about are like Braden Smith going to Indiana, Celtics. Traded Otega Owe to Oklahoma City, Spurs, Jacoby Gillespie.
I like the Jaden Bradley one at 50 to Toronto. Yeah, I think he can make that team. The kid from Arizona.
Yeah. Okay.
Vesser should have stayed in college, but he went 52. The other one I like towards the end of the draft, because I don't think we have to go through all of these, is Trey Kaufman-Renn. He went to Minnesota.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I don't mind that. There's a lot of interesting talent at the end of it. At the end of this, the one good Northwestern player, Nick Martinelli, is traded to the LA Clippers. I mean, he can certainly fill it up from deep. Who else am I looking at? I mean, there's just a lot of like interesting guys that like were decent, like Tyler Bilodeau out of UCLA, Emmanuel Sharp out of Houston to the Kings. Just like a lot of like really good college.
Some interesting guys who signed free agent wise too, like Uzan, who played at Oklahoma, played at Houston. He signed with Boston to play in their summer league. Boswell from Illinois signed with Charlotte on a 2-way deal. Yeah. So that's an interesting fit there. I think there's going to be a bunch of guys we're going to see play in the summer league coming up that are going to have a good chance to make the roster.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like, I think there's a lot of them that would have been drafted higher if there weren't, 20 freshmen or however many that are insanely talented. Like, I also want to talk one last guy because I don't know much about him. Do you know much about this Jack Cahill out of Berlin?
No, I don't know anything about it. That sounds like a stash pick.
39th to the Rockets. So Franz Wagner and Dennis Schroeder, he have also won one of the awards he won in Germany, is the Bundesliga's best young player.
He's not a stash pick. Sorry, he's gonna actually play with the Knicks next season.
No, drafted by the or is he going to the Knicks?
Or whoever. So, yeah, he got traded to the Knicks.
Okay. Don't have many stats on him, but We know some of these European guys are so hard to judge sometimes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So
no, you're good.
In the ABA league, in the KK Mega Basket League, in Berlin, he averaged at 19. He's 19. He averaged 12.3 points, 3.5 assists in 21 minutes a game.
Okay.
Shot 40% from the field, 34% for three, and he led Germany to the silver medal in the U19. Averaged 11.6 and 7 assists a game. They compare his play style to Andrew Nembhard, Jalen Suggs, and Drew Holiday.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Well, that's the draft. Very deep draft.
Summer League's going to be fun. I mean, even it's just like the first day in the Vegas Summer League, you get number 1 versus number 2 in Debonsa and Peterson.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even that day as well, you get 3 versus 4 with Caleb Wilson versus Boozer. So you get some. I do like the Summer League for that stuff. It's like early in the Summer League when these guys are playing, like before they get shut down after 2 games. They're really fun to watch. And then the tail end of the Summer League is these guys are playing for contracts in Europe and the G League. Let's see what guy could eventually crack a roster at some point.
Yeah. True. Yeah, it's fun. I prefer the early part of the Summer League where you actually see the guys play, but after a couple games and everybody else kind of leaves, it gets a little. It does still a little fun because of that. You're correct.
Who was it? Was it the guy who tore up the TBT from Marshall? And then he got a G League contract and he played in the Summer League last year. And I think he played in the G League this year. I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Is it John Elmore? Yeah, John Elmore.
Who do guys like the G League guys all play in Summer League, right?
Yeah, it's G League guys trying to get an NBA contract, and it's guys trying to make a roster, and it's other guys
and rookies and stuff.
Yeah.
So how many points a game is who's the guy that's always in the dunk contest? He gets a 10-day for the dunk contest.
Mac
how many points a game is he averaging in the Summer League? 28.
He averaged like 25 a game in the G League.
It's crazy. That's another it would also be easier to follow.
No, I don't know. Sorry, I want to talk about him for a second. I don't know what it is with the NBA and him, but you average 25 points a game in the G League. Somebody's got to give you a chance.
I can tell you right now. It's the same reason that this draft, there's guys that were going in the second round that are great players. The NBA is so deep. It's so deep. Like, look at the depth that some of these teams have.
I'm not saying, hey, you need to start. I'm saying he should have a chance to be a rotational player.
True. That's why I think the NBA is pushing so hard for expansion, because they need 2 more sets of rosters with 15 guys, because guys like Mac McClung should be on a roster. Like Jose Alvarado, I just got a notification, just re-signed with the Knicks. Like the Knicks and the Spurs, and looks like the Spurs are going to be here, and the Thunder, and these teams have so many guys that are good players on the roster that could have higher level impact on other teams if they had more minutes.
Well, that was the thing with Jimmer Fredette. Jimmer Fredette always came out and said that when especially those peak times when he was tearing it up in Europe, they said to him, they were like, why don't you ever come back or in China? They're like, why don't you come back and play in the NBA? He goes, I don't want to be a bench player.
Yeah.
He's like, I have more fun playing in China.
Do you think 2 guys, Hartenstein or whoever doesn't start for OKC, do you think they could they wouldn't be a starter on another team if they expanded the league? Of course they would be.
Oh, Hartenstein 100%.
There's a ton of guys that are I would start if there were 2 more teams in the league, but instead they're in 6-man or 7th-man roles, and you won't have you wouldn't have double ups of talent.
I'm interested to see where this expansion stuff goes and when it gets taken off, or when it starts to take off.
I mean, if we get another freshman draft class like this, man, it's got to be soon, because some of these guys,
There's a lot of competing different groups in Vegas right now.
Are there?
The Knights owner just went public and said that he will fully, if he can get another investor or two, he'll fully back an NBA team here.
Makes sense.
So it's like, but it's like if you have him, he already has an arena. He owns T-Mobile.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you gonna try to compete somewhere else and build a new arena when they already have one? He's willing to put up the money to renovate an arena that's already there.
I agree. I see what you're saying.
Especially if they've been hesitant of building anything. Like, okay, just use his.
Yeah. 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 I just think it's coming because there's so much talent. There's so much talent coming in that it's shocking to see how like I mean, look at the NBA Finals and I know the Spurs struggle with some depth, but like, look how deep the Knicks were.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Clarkson's playing 5 minutes a game.
I know, right?
Like that's such a dearth of talent. And a lot of these teams, like OKC, is an embarrassment of riches. I mean, they're able to just stack guys and trade them away for 2 picks and get another guy back for 2 picks, like we talked about. So
that's all I got.
Okay, that's all I have. OKC still has a ton of picks, man. They still have so many picks. It's crazy. And
Presti's going to be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and I haven't talked to you since the Knicks won the finals. So the Knicks won the finals. So hey, I also love.
Congrats! You won't win another one. It's going to be another 50 years.
I don't know about all that, but I will say for this decade, we have not had a repeat champion, and we've had teams fall off quick. How many teams have we been like, okay, this decade's theirs? The Celtics are like, this decade's theirs. Okay, see, this decade's theirs. The Spurs before they won the finals. Oh, this decade's theirs.
Yeah.
The only teams I feel like we were concrete on it wasn't going to last very long were like the Warriors and the Bucks and like the Nuggets. The Nuggets are like this decade. Who's competing with them? And here we are. No one's repeated, and they're all looking around trying to rebuild and reassess their team.
Okay, here I have a question for you. What happens? I'll give you 3 options. What happens first? Jokic gets another ring, Wemby wins a ring, or the Knicks repeat, or the Knicks win another one.
With this draft and how this season ended for the Spurs, if they're healthy, I would be shocked if they don't win next year.
But do you think it's more realistic if, what do you call it? Do you think that Jokic can get another one before Wemby?
No, Wemby wins next year if he's healthy, or the year after. And I don't think the Nuggets have enough talent with Jokic.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have some retooling done for sure.
Yeah. And Wemby and the Giannis trade and this draft have forced a lot of teams to make a lot of decisions already and really start thinking about it. I mean, because Wemby is forcing these moves out of the. You think he's forcing these moves out of the Thunder. Wemby is forcing other teams to get big. The Knicks, the depth is forcing other teams to increase their depth. This draft is, all of a sudden, you add one of these players to your team and they're good.
What do you? Sorry, here I'll piggyback on it. What do you think happens? Jokic wins another ring or he retires first?
Unfortunately, unless he moves or like the Nuggets do something drastic, in this version of the NBA, without expansion. Now, if expansion happens before he retires, I think that increases his chances because people are going to be moving and lose their depth. But I just don't know, like, what the Nuggets are thinking they're going to do when you have the Rockets, the Spurs, the Timberwolves. Like, you have to even beat out Luka on the Lakers, and that's not even easy enough for the Nuggets to beat.
So here's one. What are the Rockets gonna do? Are they gonna trade KD? or Sengun, because they've been linked to trading them too. Do they have a chance at Jalen Brown? Do the Celtics want a Sengun?
The Rockets rebuilt and they have talent, and Şengün's a really good player. Please do not trade him. Trade KD. Please do not trade Şengün. He's good.
Yeah,
your team is good.
I agree with you, but I'm saying for what will happen, do you think it's more likely they get a Jalen Brown and they trade Şengün, or do they do they trade KD and
if they want
keep building around these young guys that they have?
If they want to get Jalen Brown, they'll have to most likely get rid of Şengün. But if they just want to get rid of KD and bring in somebody else and mess around with that, I think that's what they should do. And you should reevaluate and see where you are after next season, after another season of growth for these guys, and maybe bringing in somebody else that isn't KD, and maybe getting a point guard. What did the Rockets all do in this draft?
I don't think they had picks.
Were they completely out of picks? Oh, Bruce Thornton.
Oh, they took Bruce Thornton. That's it, and they traded 39 and they traded 53.
Okay. Well, hey, at least they got somebody that they possibly needed.
And you got a scoring guard off the bench, but at the end of the day,
they needed a point guard.
Well, yeah, they need. No, I'm just saying, they got what they needed. Now
Yeah.
what? What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I would hate to see them trade Şengün. Although, I mean, for Jalen Brown, it's not the worst thing with that team around him either. Having a center as good as Şengün is every team in the league wants that. I mean, the league is very quickly moving into a phase of this league where guys like Jokic, Wemby, Şengün are those are leading members of title contenders. Are dynamic bigs. Cat, as much as Jalen Brunson.
I feel like they're just not valuing them anymore, and that's what sucks.
You don't think they're valuing those dynamic bigs?
No, not like they were a couple years ago.
I don't know. I think those have been the most the unspoken thing that has been a part of all these title contenders recently and all the title winners.
Oh, I think that teams are realizing it when they need to make trades and they do certain things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they're realizing it right off the bat.
Yeah.
I think they know it's a valuable piece, but when it goes to the actual trade market, it's like, okay, do we really need this? No, it's okay. We'll stick to what we have.
Because what's been the X factor?
Because look, well, you can say X factor. Look at when Boston won it. The X factor was Kristaps
and Horford. If they don't get that, and then I know like Jalen Brunson and Shea are going to be the number one guys you'll talk about for the Thunder and for the Knicks respectively. But Cat, Chet, Wemby,
I mean, even look at
Giannis won a title. The Nuggets won a title.
Cat's a stretch big. What did Miami didn't have that? I mean, they had Bosch. I mean, if you want to technically count it, Bosch was a stretch big.
The only ones that really have done it without a dynamic big are like the Warriors, and obviously LeBron and the Cavs.
But they didn't need it.
Yeah, they didn't need it.
When you have Steph. But to be fair, at the peak of Draymond was a dynamic big man.
Yeah. Big man.
Point shooting big man, no, but dynamic, yeah, absolutely.
Like passing the ball, creating space for teammates, moving around the perimeter. That's what all these guys are doing. And I don't know, I really think that having a guy like that for the Rockets is they might underrate it, but you shouldn't. Getting rid of him is a big deal.
Oh, I agree. I think they shouldn't move him at all.
Because
I'm just saying in general, it's oh, well, we'll just move Şengün. We'll find another one.
Yeah.
That's just the day and age of basketball.
Yeah.
Is it going to be as good? no guarantee.
And like look at what these teams that have that struggled in the offseason and the postseason this year. The Lakers, the Celtics. They didn't have bigs at all, basically, but they certainly didn't have dynamic ones.
Oh no, not at all.
And you either need depth and like large bigs, or you need somebody dynamic, and they don't have any of those. That's one of the reasons like getting rid of Kling and a Trailblazer, like for the Trailblazers, would like annoy me too. Like you found a lockdown big guy who looks pretty solid. Give him another year before you trade him out and have Jalen Brown and you compete for the 8 seed for 5 years. Congratulations.
Right. That's just where I'm just like, okay. Really,
yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah. If the point is to not win a championship or not rebuild, or in the special case of like the Warriors, where you're maybe not contending, but you're extending the competitiveness of Steph as long as possible and seeing what happens, that's fine. Otherwise, I don't really understand the point. Either you're building to something, you're contending. That's
why, like, I would, when we were talking about the rumor of like Sabonis, they were talking about DeMar DeRozan or Sabonis from the Kings being traded for Jimmy Butler's expiring contract.
I like Sabonis.
Go get Sabonis. Why do you need DeMar DeRozan, a guard who can't shoot, is going to clog the lanes for the best shooter of all time?
Yeah, no. Get Sabonis. Let him cook. And with Steph Curry's space, he affords the players.
Like, even if that trade, you don't do that trade, go re-sign Porzingis.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree. I agree. Like,
because from a dynamic standpoint, if you're going to play Steph, obviously, you're not. But you have two guys who can't shoot for shit on your team with Draymond Green and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah. The point of Steph Curry when you're building an offense is the other options you need when building that options are like Draymond his peak, a big passer that can play pick and roll, get him open with screens and pass to him well, other elite shooters, or guys that drive and finish and like can absolutely finish over guys. Otherwise, there's no point to like ball dominant mid-range guards. Like there's not a point to that unless you're giving Sean Livingston 10 minutes a game. But like DeMar DeRozan, you don't want to start him.
Yeah, but the thing with Sean Livingston was like he was so deadly from mid-range and could create and get to the rim.
And you take Steph off the floor and let him cook for 5 minutes.
No,
and then you could.
But what I'm saying is, you could take Steph off the floor, but you still had Clay on the floor, or you still had another shooter in Kevin Durant, or when you had prime Harrison Barnes, Harrison Barnes was a 40% 3-point shooter.
Yeah.
So you still had the spacing on the floor where it didn't matter. You don't have guy who can't shoot, a big man who probably can't shoot, and stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well. You need other elite shooters, guys that can attack the rim, and bigs that can pass. That's my preferable thing around Steph. And yeah, DeMar DeRozan just makes sense. But I do love Sabonis. Sabonis is great. That's another thing. Also, somebody to back up Steph defensively. That's why I was like, is Yaxel a pick over Ademara? Although Yaxel can shoot a little bit, so maybe Yaxel's a really good fit for them too. I can see Yaxel being really good.
But that's the thing. Yaxel's not going to get you over the hump.
No. But Yaxel is a piece, and then you bring in Sabonis. Like, listen, with the Warriors, I don't think anything's really going to get them over the hump. But you're just looking to extend Steph and keep him in like the 6-3 seed in the West as long as possible.
Yeah.
You're not trying to have the end of the Kobe tenure at the Lakers where they are not in the playoffs and he's playing for nothing but the crowd. You want to keep Steph also competitive, so we can keep getting playoff stats. And maybe one year you make a little run. They make a little run to a conference final. He plays heroically. Like, that's what you're looking for at this point. And then every other team
I want him to be sent off into the sunset, not like.
Yeah. And sent off into the sunset doesn't mean he has to win a championship, but to be competitive and like lose the conference finals and like walk off the court and be like, I love you all. That's great. That's what you want. You don't want him to have to play the final game of a regular season and score 60 like Kobe. You don't want that. Unless you have a guy like Steph or LeBron on your roster, you should either be rebuilding or attempting to build and contend. everyone else that's sitting in this middle ground, which is why I was really happy with the playoffs this year. There was a ton of teams that were like the Magic and the Hawks. Who'd the Hawks pick?
I can't. Let me look. Hold on. Kingston Flemings, Ejiofor, and Henry Vesser.
I like that. Like these teams that were young and like in this kind of competitive in this playoff. I mean, hey, the Hawks are the only teams to give the Knicks any trouble. So, like keep building. Like, don't trade away your guys just for a flyer on a star that's not going to get you any closer. Build your guys. Find the star when you have the only team that I will say 100% should trade for a star that I feel it might be this Bucks team, man. This Bucks team.
I would be very interested to see what they do at the deadline if you're in a playoff hunt. Like,
but like, I don't know if they'll.
What are they gonna?
I don't know if they will with the roster as currently constructed. But you bring in like, I know Jalen Brown, like that was originally the trade was going to be for Giannis, but like, you entice him with, hey, we got Miles Turner, we have Tyler Herro to be your point guard. We have this young kid, Nate Ament, we think could be pretty good. We have this depth on our roster. Do you want to come lead this roster? Like that's more that to me is actually more interesting than Jalen Brown going to the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers giving up Klingon and just sitting in the 9th seed in the West for 4 years.
Yeah.
And getting shelled by the Spurs in the first round. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
I would totally agree.
That's all I got.
That's all I have too. No, we will continue to cover as this as the storylines in the offseason develop as summer league starts. So thank you all for listening. Please like and subscribe.
Yep, make sure you like and subscribe to all of our work, all of our clips. Share with your friends.
Yeah,
say some funny stuff sometimes.
We do.
We definitely get dragged sometimes also.
Mainly me by British fans on my channel, but yeah.
I'm gonna say this because we're on the basketball hoops one.
Yeah.
The basketball environments in Europe shit on the soccer environments in Europe. Like,
dude, it's because
the basket when they got flames in the
stands.
When they got flames in the stands and like all that, I'm like, oh my god.
Well, they do that in European soccer, but when it's in an enclosed environment with only like 20,000 people, but they're on top of you versus in a massive stadium, you feel that. You feel it.
Yeah. So I won't compare European basketball environments to college basketball environments because they are not even close to being the same. But I will always compare football to football.
College football, but European. Yeah, that's fair. They're very fair
because they're at least those are similar. European basketball and the NBA, way different environments. European basketball and college basketball, way different environments.
Yeah, no. Unless it's like it was like the things that were said to like JJ Redick in like 2002. That's the only thing maybe comparable. Because things
are gone.
Yeah, like you watch like Slovenian basketball. Oh my god.
Well, that's why like Luka makes those comments. Like people roll him sometimes, but
yeah,
they make comments of like, oh, European basketball was harder to play in than the NBA. Yeah, those environments are nuts. What do you think?
European and like South American fans and media are often tougher on their athletes than we are. Like they'll just cut players. It's a cutthroat environment at age 12. At age 12 here, you might get cut from your junior high basketball team, but whatever. But like there, it's like, sorry, you're cut from our club. Gotta go move towns to find a different club. And if you're good enough, hey, 14-year-old, congratulations, you're playing against a 28-year-old man tonight. Good luck. Have fun. That guy is 6'9", 280. So if he knocks you into the stands where there's open flame, that's a shame.
All right. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. And this was Hoops After Dark.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys.